All right. Well, I don't want to, waste any time. So people are still logging in, and that's okay. But we're going to start rolling. And I know you guys aren't seeing the responses for the chat, but I see everything in there. So if you're asking questions, I don't get to it right away, I apologize. We got a ton of people. This was the most registrants I've ever had it on a webinar. All right. So super excited about that. So today we are going to be talking about digital agency, our Masterclass 3.0. All right. And all new for 2018. So yeah, we have run digital agency masterclasses in the past. All right. But because we're talking about digital and online marketing, and we're going to dive deep into that today, but because we're talking, it's an evolution, right? So it's always going to be something new. And so it's important to keep this updated. That's why I keep myself updated as far as education goes, so I can relate it to insurance agents. All right. So the main point of today's webinar, really, it's going to be how to successfully add profitable digital marketing in your agency without spending hundreds of dollars a month on paid ads or a ton of hours trying to figure it out. How cool would that be, right? So we don't have to spend a ton of money or a ton of time, because both are super valuable. And that's going to be the main point today. All right. So, and that's really my goal. My goal today is to not just train you, but show you implementation, things you're going to be able to actually use in your agency and information. My other goal today is that you're on here, right? So if you stay till the end, just got to stay till the end of it, I'm going to show you all this cool info. And on top of that, I'll be able to see from my analytics who stays to the end. I'm going to email you my 3 email sequence for lead generation and my funnel page that I used in my own agency and I give to agents today for digital marketing success. And that's 100% free. You just have to stay to the end. So I want to make sure you're committed to staying to the end. So all I want you to do in that chat bar, remember, I see everything you guys type, is just type commit. Commit, and that means I know you're going to stay till the end because you want to learn today. You want to implement, you want to do things that are going to make a difference, an impact in your agency. So type commit. I want to make sure that a lot of you are on board with me. All right. So what does make this different? What makes my stuff different, right? Because you got a lot of things going on online, whether it's email, which I hit you up on, social media, what have you. You have so many things that, commanding your attention on a daily basis. Your time's valuable. My time is, but your time is too. So what I want to make sure today is that you shut off distractions, right? I know it seems like an unfathomable thing, but if you got a cell phone, put it on Do Not Disturb. That's what I've done. All right. Not for my sake, right? Because I know my time's valuable, but how do you value your time? You got Facebook up on another screen right now? Close that down. Not only from the fact of a distraction standpoint, but it's going to slow your server down as far as you getting this information. So value your time, okay? If you're a note taker, I'm not going to have you take, scrupulous notes, but get a notepad out because we're going to do some stuff that you're going to want to write down today. So eliminate distraction. You got an office door where people bug you every 10 minutes because guess what? You own a business, so that's going to happen. Close the door. Take a second and do that, all right? So I just want to make sure you're valuing your time. I'm going to value your time. I value my own time. You need to value your own time. Okay. Now, a lot of you know me. For those that don't, I'm going to do this real quick. I know there's a super old, this is like a 4-year-old picture, but it's my most favorite picture of me and my kids. That's why it's there. But if you don't know me, that's my name, Joe Davis. You know that by now. I was starting in this industry right fresh out of college when I was 21 years old. Basically, an insurance call center was hiring. I said, sure. Right? Like most of us, I did not get into insurance on purpose. Okay. But I'm still here today. If you're wondering, I am now 33, about to be 34. Now, due to high demand of one-on-one coaching, I decided to sell my agency and coach full time. I'm going to actually dive into that a little bit later, but that's really where I'm at today. And now my focus when I work with agents, and a lot of you that are on here right now I've worked with in the past, is taking you to your next level. Now, I say it like that for a reason, because there is no one number, right? I could say, I want every agent to be at 100 policies a month or 50 policies a month or 200. It depends on your situation. I have agents in Long Island that if they could consistently hit 40 policies a month, they're golden and top in their market. I have other ones in Texas that they need to hit 200. All right. So it's not one singular number that I focus on. It's whatever your next level is. And that's what my entire coaching and training business has always been about. And as far as the insurance industry is concerned, the past several years, I've been one of the leaders in digital marketing for insurance agents. Now, I know that seems like a bold and arrogant statement, but here's why. I'm going to explain it to you. Most of the time, if you see somebody, a coach or a software company, trying to get your attention for digital marketing in your agency, the reality is they're internet marketers that are starting to dabble in insurance, right? They want to get into our industry. I'm the opposite. I was always in our industry. I've been a employee since I was 21 and then an agent. I only focus on insurance. I don't have other markets out there, right? You're never going to see, something out there that I'm trying to pitch or coach or train on that's not insurance. So that's the difference. All right. Yeah, sure. I could probably, if you're selling sunglasses, teach you how to build an awesome funnel sales page. But the reality is that's not my industry. That's not my, profession. All right. So that's the difference. So I've been leading this digital marketing execution for certain insurance agents across the country since I started, because that's all I focus on. Now, I do want to bring this up, and this is going to be interesting because whether you've been on a webinar with me or not before, I'm going to actually tell a story I've never told before. Because I will, like anybody, go rah, rah for my successes, my breakthroughs, my processes that work. But here's the reality. And I want you, when you read some of this stuff, just simply type a yes if any of this sounds familiar. After I bought my first agency, I had already worked in insurance for several years. I was good at it. I bought my first agency. Guess what? I almost had to close my doors after the first 3 months, and the reason is I listened to corporate recommendations. So that meant I was overstaffed. How many of you, and you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but I do want you to type a yes if any of this sounds familiar. I projected after month 3, I looked at month 4 of my projections. I was $7,000 short of payroll. Have you ever had to look at your employees and tell them you couldn't pay them for the hours they worked for you, or been close to that? If you haven't been there, first of all, a lot of you I'm sure have. I'm already getting a ton that have. I won't name any names because that's private. That's why I do the private chat. All right. But if you've never been there, there is never a more stressful situation than not being able to make payroll. Right. I don't care if I couldn't pay the bills to my utilities, whatever. All right. But if you can't make payroll, and if and a lot of people haven't been there, and that's awesome. I hope you never go through that. That's a humbling experience. And, it came to that. All right. That was the reality. But it's because I was overstaffed and I was in debt to lead vendors because I had contracts out there, these big, long contracts. Right. And it was scary. It was really, really scary. All my credit cards were maxed, except for one. I had a credit card that had about a $1,500 limit left on it. And so I won't get into it too much, but I saw this training for a company that just started a few years back, several years back now, called ClickFunnels. And they were making out digital marketing and training for what I described, people that were trying to sell a product, sunglasses, books, whatever. But I looked at that and I said, I can use this and I can make it work for insurance. So I used the rest of my credit cards. A lot of you might think that was really stupid of me. All right. And that's fine. My wife at the time thought I was really dumb too. Trust me. But it is what made the difference. All right. So I've been there. Okay. Nobody that's ever had success in this industry of any kind has not been humbled. Trust me on that. All right. But after doing this, I need to update this slide, obviously. It's been over 12 years, going on 13 now. But I've realized a few things, that every change I've seen over the past 10 years in the insurance business, it's really technology has created an adapt or die mentality. Agree? Does that make sense? If you're not willing to change, you might as well not be in business. All right. And I also realized and have done almost every offline process that's been successful in our business the past 25, 30 years can be converted into an online process in some way, shape, or form. Right? Does that make sense? You can convert almost any process into an online form. All right. And I also realize the agents that I see fail the most, the only thing that separates them, they're just not willing to change. It can be a big change, a little change, doesn't matter. They're just not willing to. And those are the ones I see fail. All right. It's not the smart ones. It's not the dumb ones. It's not the, non-college degree, the master. It makes no difference what your education is. Heck, it might not make a difference how many hours you work. If you're not willing to make some form of a change, big or little, you're going to fail at some point. I can promise you that. All right. Maybe the change is something I teach you. Maybe it's not. I don't care. But you need to be open to change. Now, I realized, like I just mentioned, it's not that agents weren't smart enough. They just didn't know enough. All right. Now, a lot of you, we had over 200 people register. I would say 70% of you took the survey. And I want to share the results with you. Now, mind you, this slide was made before the survey results were in. But this just speaks to my point. Here was the survey results. For those of you, the majority of you that filled out the survey, here's what happened. The question, if you missed it, was what is holding you back from digital success? All right, I gave you 5 options, but notice only the top 2 got answered at all, right? Lack of knowledge and understanding was the majority, but right behind it was overcomplication, too many choices. The last 3, not a single person put as their option to the survey, not a single person. All right, so that tells me that you trust technology, you understand it's important, and you've tried it. So what's the holdup? All right. Also, if you notice down there, anybody that filled out the survey, because I get all the numbers, you're actually going to get some a special training email to you afterwards, because I appreciate you taking the time to do that. All right, but that's the reality. It's only it's lack of knowledge and understanding, and it's overcomplication. All right. So we know it's important, right? We've tried it and we trust it, but we just can't figure out how to get it done. And that's what today's about. So the mistake that most agents make online, and the mistake I did at first, all right, I was spending up to $35 a lead. I'm not talking, you call an internet company and they work out a deal for, you can get those for $4. I mean, as far as what you're paying for marketing wise, online ads, somebody to run email marketing for you, or paying for lead companies. All right. Spend as much as $35 just for the opportunity to call them and hound them and maybe get them to say yes to a quote. Not even closing, but a quote, right? As opposed to having leads call you, which is what we want, obviously. The other issue I see, let me know if any of this sounds familiar. You've done it before. Don't be ashamed. I did all of these. That's why they're on here. Is digital marketing usually just results in a sporadic approach that's only being used in times of desperation. So if you're in the Northeast, or, we got people in North, Minnesota, Ohio, Wisconsin, the snow starts flying, right? The snow starts flying and you're like, hey, it's snowing out today. Great time to get your snowmobile insurance. Now, I'm not saying that post can't work. I'm not even saying you can't get sales off that. But if that's all you're doing is waiting for an opportunity to say, oh, let's just throw this out there, that's not a plan. That's not a process. That's just sporadic approach to online marketing. And then the big issue I see a lot is just trying to sell hard online. There's no content. You're not building a community. You're not building trust. You're not building recognition. You're not giving education. You're just selling. People get sick of that real quick. At first, you might say it's going to work. Hey, yeah, I threw a post out there. I got 4 quotes. That's great. But if that's all you're doing, you're not going to get many more after that. And you're not utilizing every tool possible. Now, I mentioned overcomplication. I'm not saying use every tool, but you need to know the right ones to use. And we're going to get into that today too. So let's get into the 3 secrets of a 2018 digital agency. All right. Got a bunch of people on the chat, very active group. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So first, we're going to talk about how you can self-generate more leads online for little to no cost compared to purchasing leads or hiring more staff. It's the first thing we're going to go through today. Next, we're going to talk about how you can establish an amazing digital marketing presence without buying a single ad online, or once again, spending hours figuring it out. Okay. You scroll through Facebook all the time, right? About training, seminars, webinars. Here's how you can get your Facebook ads really producing. They're not talking about insurance agents. All right. Once again, they're talking about the guy selling sunglasses. All right. So I want to show you how we do this without paying for a single ad online. And the big misconception is that it's a clicks game, right? So you got to have thousands of people to reach out. That's not true. You don't need an email or prospect list in thousands. You just need as little as 100 contacts to really get rolling with the methods we're going through today. And that doesn't even need to be pure prospects. That can be a combination of customers and prospects. And I bet you almost everybody on the line right now has more than 100 contacts. I can almost guarantee you that. But even if you only have 100, this can work. Trust me on that. All right, so let's dive right into it. So number one, you can self-generate more leads online for little to no cost compared to purchasing leads or hiring more staff. Now, we're going to talk about this concept in a lot of ways today. So I want to say, instead of me saying this sentence over and over again, what we're talking about here is organic reach. You've probably heard the phrase before. Most of you know what that means. When you hear the phrase for digital marketing of organic reach, that means you're not paying for it. Organic, you're doing it yourself. You're growing it yourself. All right. So whenever I say organic reach, just remember, all I mean by that is not paid. All right. You're just not paying for it. All right. So here's where I told you to get, paper and pen, because I want you to work some numbers. I'm going to do some numbers here, but I want to make it for your agency. So follow along, but make it, whatever the specifics are for your office. Excuse me. All right. So let's do some math. I know we all love math. I'll make it super simple though. Let's say for paid leads, and I'm talking paid internet leads, live transfers, any online ads you might have going, paying people for marketing, any way you're getting leads into your inbox. Let's say you're paying an average of $10 a lead, right? Which is probably low, especially if you get into live transfer, paid ads. It's probably more like 20 to 30, but let's be conservative, right? I like to work on conservative numbers. So let's say you're paying $10 a lead. All right, put your average in there. And if you want to use these numbers, do it. All right, $10 a lead. Now, let's say our goal is 50 policies a month. Now, if yours is 100, you'll have to double the upcoming numbers. Or if it's half of that, split in half. That's fine. But for simplicity, let's say our goal is 50 policies a month. All right, so let's say we're really good at closing these types of leads. Usually the close rate's more like 10%, but let's say we're really good at it. And some of you are, right? You're hitting 20% on these. That's great. That's awesome. To be able to hit 50 policies at that 20% close rate, you're going to need 250 leads per month coming in. All right. So simple math. You're paying $2 or $10 an average on 250 leads. What's it going to cost you? $2,500 a month on paid lead networks. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't get a bill from a lead company for $2,500 a month. Yeah, you probably don't. What I'm asking you to do is look at everything you're spending money on to generate leads, not just one company like EverQuote or, whoever you use. Yeah, you're not getting a $2,500 a month bill from them specifically, but look at all your processes combined. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? You see where I'm saying with the paid leads? It's all the sources combined. All right. Now let's go to the second part. All right. And do this out. What about staff? So let's say, hypothetically, you have a staff member and their only job is to generate leads for you. And you're paying them $10 an hour. So that could be they're calling on the phone, they're emailing. You got some people do door-to-door still, networking, etc. All different facets you can think of for a staff member to generate leads. And you're paying them $10 an hour. I'm not talking commission. I'm not talking bonus. All right, I want you to think about that. Now you can multiply. So I want to ask you guys a question. How many staff besides yourself do you have in your agency right now? I want to know that. Put in the chat bar, besides yourself, how much staff do you have right now? Do you have only one other person, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10? Put in the chat bar. I want to make sure you're awake. How many staff do you have besides yourself right now? Gonna wait just a second. All right, got a lot of answers coming in. So we got 1, 5, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 10, 3, 3. 2 full-time, 1 part-time, 3, 2, 1. All right. So everybody's, there's a few on the higher range, but most of you are 2 to 4. Okay. All right. And I'm not saying you got to double this, but you know what your staff does in a day for lead generation. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through these numbers for you. How much of their time is spent with generating leads? All right. So let's say we got a superstar staff person, that really hardworking person that's awesome at generating leads, and we only got to pay them $10 an hour, right? That's like a gold mine situation, you'd think. All right. So let's say they're super good. And in that 8-hour day, they're generating 20 leads. All right. First of all, how many actually do that? There are probably some superstars out there that can. Absolutely. That means they're getting you 2.5 leads per hour. Let me ask you, everybody that just commented how many of your staff generate, you think, 2.5 leads per hour when they're trying to generate leads? I'm not saying they're getting 20 in a day, but your staff members, how many are getting at least 2 to 3 leads an hour? One of them, 2 of them, none of them? I want to see how many are getting that many leads per hour for you when they're generating leads. All right, let's see. 0, 0, none, 0. And I'm not trying to bash your staff, guys. I'm sure they're smart, competent people. All right. 10 a day. All right. That's a good number, right? Most of you put none. Okay. Now, it's not that they're not 0 as far as 0 lead generation, but how many per hour, right? They're generating leads. But let's say you got that superstar that's getting you 20 leads a day, 2.5 per hour. All right. Same goal that we went before, 50 policies per month. All right. So let's break that math down now with a staff member, because it's not an automated process. Say we're still really rolling at that 20% close. Now, when I say 20% close ratio, guys, obviously I'm not talking about referrals. I'm not talking about current customers. Those close rates are going to be higher. I'm talking about these types of leads. Still need the same 250 leads needed. All right. So let's see how many math wizards we got out there right now. How many days, if they're getting these numbers, 20 leads a day, 2.5 leads per hour, how many days is it going to take them to get 250 leads? All right. Whoever gets this right in first gets the attaboy for the day. How many days is it going to take, if it's an 8-hour day, to get 250 leads? Wow, I'm going to look at you guys. That's right. Hey, we got some math people. All right. Props. And I'm really sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Is it A-T? A-T-T-E-E? You got it. Melissa, you got it. Brian, you got it. Chris, you got it. 12.5 days to generate those. Cody, yep, right on. I put it right there. You got it. 100 hours at $10 an hour. And that's if they're a superstar. Getting 20 leads a day, that's 2.5 hours. That means you're going to spend $1,000 a month on paying staff, not even counting commission, not even counting bonuses. And that's if they're a superstar getting you 20 leads a day, which only one person said that they had someone doing half of that. All right. Now, once again, I'm not saying, hey, it's time to fire your staff. I'm just saying we need to do this different. Do you guys see that? Does that make sense now? Do you see when you put it into your own numbers, what kind of impact it can have? Now, when it comes to staff, you just look at it as a necessary expense in running an agency, right? So you don't get a bill saying that, staff member number 1, here's your bill for $1,500 and I got you 14 leads this month. You don't see it like that, so we don't put it in perspective. All right, but that's the reality. All these things combined, these are the expenses. So look at your numbers right now. All right, maybe you just use mine, so multiply it or divide it out to fit you. All right, and I'm being super concerned. Would you guys agree that I'm being pretty generous with these numbers? Okay, yes, absolutely. Got a lot of yeses in here. Cool. Right. So we got to think like that. That's the mentality. We gotta break that mentality because we're just so used to doing it day in and day out. And we don't really overview this stuff on a daily basis. I'm going to go why that is in a minute. All right. So really those numbers are a core part of figuring out what's broken in the system. And now we got to fix it. So number 2, how can we establish an amazing digital marketing presence without buying a single ad online or spending those hours figuring it out? Once again, you go on Facebook, you're going to see over and over and over how to get your Facebook ads looked at, how to get in front of your prospects with your paid ads. Once again, guys, that's great for the person selling a widget. Okay, that's awesome. And actually for my business, not bad either. But I want to show you I want you to know that I really actually practice what I preach. We sold out this, I say sold out, it's a free webinar, I get it, but we got it to capacity today. right? We got the max registrants I was allowed to get with this software. I did not spend $1 in paid advertising to get you here. Not a single person that's on here right now clicked on a paid ad. I guarantee you that. I promise you. All right. Because in our business, it's different. We're not selling a widget, right? I don't need to build you a sales funnel for someone to click something to add to a cart. That's not our industry. So this is very possible. And I believe, and my experience shows through my agents I work with, that it's actually much more effective without paying. So I told you I was going to get to this, right? So 3 reasons why agents like us should not have to spend a ton of money and a ton of time generating leads, right? So number 1, we're too busy. We just are. We have give me an amen if this sounds familiar. We have too many fires to put out each day. We come in the morning, right? Maybe our office opens at 8:30 or 9, but we're in there way before that. All right. We're going through emails. We're clearing out the voicemails. Oh, here's a payment that my staff's not in yet, but this guy needs to go to work at 7:30 in the morning. So let's do that. Now he wants to talk for 20 minutes about why his business is failing and it's not picking up, what you can do about it. Right. Or okay, great. Let's go back to work before 9 a.m. Okay. And unfortunately, this sweet old lady comes in to pay her bill and asks you and talks to you for 40 minutes about why her rate went up $4 every 6 months. Does that sound familiar, guys? Right? Okay. And then boom, the door's open. All right. My staff's here. They can handle some stuff. Ring, ring. Oh, I got this claim. I don't know what to do. Okay. You spend an hour on that. Oh, this policy got rejected. Okay. All of a sudden it's 3 p.m. and what have you done today? Right? You had a great list in front of you. We have the best intentions in the world and it's not our fault. We can't get it done. It just all funnels to us, right? Got a lot of amens. Yes. This sounds familiar. Yes, I know it does, you know? And it's tough. It's nothing we're doing wrong. It's just the part of our business. It's the role we play in our agencies. We just have too much to put out during a day. Okay. And even if we're not the type to micromanage, which I was, there's just some things your staff can't do, right? So we're too busy. Why else? Our budget. Okay. We're working with razor thin margins. Most of us, not all of us. I get that. Maybe you had some capital when you started your business. So you still have that. That's awesome. Good. I love it. You just need to make the budget work for you. But most of us are working with razor thin margins. That's what people don't understand about our industry. Yes, you can make a ton of money as an insurance agent, but trust me, it doesn't start out like that. And it doesn't even continue like that unless you get the right processes in place. The reality is when it comes to marketing dollars, we can't touch direct companies, right? We can't touch a Geico, a Progressive, an Esurance. We can't do anything about them. They're just going to outspend us. Okay. So even if you can put the best Facebook ad in the world together, right? Or the best paid lead source together on Instagram or LinkedIn, even if you can really just be awesome at that, so are Geico and Progressive, and there's no way you can outspend them. Agreed? Does that make sense, guys? There's just no way you can do that. We're working with razor thin margins. Yet we know that, but still we're spending money on stuff every single month that's marketing for us that we don't need to be spending money on. We don't know what the return is. We don't see the investment coming back to us. And it's frustrating. Lastly, when we're getting leads that way that I talked about with the paid leads, and maybe it's a Facebook ad or someone you're paying to email market, you are in the position now, you have the lead, you have the name, you got to call them, right? And you're going to hound the prospects. That's horrible positioning. You know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And most of the time when you're getting these leads into you, they're getting tricked into submitting their info, right? So you have now been degraded from an agency or a business owner to really a telemarketer, okay? Just praying that they say yes to a quote. Now, some of you are really good at that, right? I hate telemarketing. I hate cold calling. I'm good at it. Doesn't mean I like doing it. And a lot of you in that same position, right? How many are like that? Let me know. Put a yes in there if you're really, really good at cold calling, but it's not your favorite thing in the world to do. Now, some of you may, I've yet to hear too many people say that's what they prefer to do day in and day out, but if that sounds familiar, put a yes in there. Any of these things sound familiar. Yes. A bunch of yeses. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's why we should not be spending a ton of money and a ton of time generating leads, because we don't have the time or the money. Okay. And if we do have the time, we do have the money, and somehow we get a lead in, all right, it's just bad positioning. All right. And that's the number one thing in sales is once you have yourself in a bad position, you're in trouble. Some of us can get out of it. Yes. But it's still it's an uphill battle at that point. Now, the biggest key, what I found when I did digital marketing and finally learned how to do it right in our industry, was it needs to be near flawless. I say flawless. There's no such thing as perfect, right? But more importantly than being perfect, it needs to be a repeatable process that works over and over again. I like to call it autopilot. The problem with us, and I don't know if it's an insurance agent problem, an entrepreneur problem, a business owner problem. I don't know what the problem is, but we all have it, myself included, is we will try a process for 2 weeks. And if we don't see the results immediately, guess what? We're quitting it. We're done with it. And so we don't repeat it. And that was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome, was I had to understand that, all right, this process, I'm a smart guy. You're smart people. You're business owners. You're insurance agents. You got to pass tests and licenses and approvals and appointments to get to where you are. You're not a dumb person, obviously. So if in your mind, you're thinking this process has to work, right? And then in 2 weeks, it's like, well, why is it not working? You can't stop it. So we got to find a repeatable process, and results will happen if it's the right process. And then I also found that I overcomplicated, right? And so what I talked about in that initial slide that showed the survey is a lot of the reasons we feel we've been held back from digital marketing is that it's too complicated. All right, I'm going to show you a slide in a little bit that's going to really speak to that. But the reality is, to get everything done for good digital marketing in your agency, you just need 2 to 3 platforms. I'm not saying everybody needs the same platforms, right? But generally, out of the thousands out there, 2 to 3 get it done, right? And it depends on your agency and your objective on which 2 to 3 they are, which we're going to go through. But that's all you need. You don't need 8 different systems. Granted, our companies that we work for might make us go on 8 different systems. That's not our problem. We need to own the marketing in our agency. We have spent too many dollars and too much time letting other people market for us, and we're paying for it. Now, some companies, for instance, I was an Allstate agent, right? And I work with a lot of Allstate, Farmers, State Farm, Nationwide, you name it. I work with them all. Their company does free advertising and marketing. That's great. Do that. But when it comes to your money, your bank account, you should be in control of your marketing. Okay. That's a big thing I had to realize. Does that make sense? How awesome would it be then, instead of paying somebody else to do your marketing or paying a paid ad online, you're then just doing it yourself. So that money is now yours. You're not getting invoiced for that. Okay. And like I said, notice I said 2 to 3, not 10. All right. Get off your Twitter account. That's one thing I have agents tell me, right? One of their big processes is Twitter. All right. I will go on record right now. And you know what? If people want to fight me on this, that's fine. Twitter will do nothing for your insurance agency. Now, on the other end, if you are to message me or email me and say, Joe, I've been using Twitter for 5 years and I get 10 leads a day off it, I surrender. You're right. I'm wrong. All right. In fact, you know what? Tell me how you did it. We'll make it into a course. We'll sell it for, $2,000 and I'll split it with you. All right. But I've yet to have one person do that. All right. There's certain things you don't need. Okay. But if no one's telling you this, if no one's showing you what you do need, how do you know what you don't need? Does that sentence make sense? I didn't say it for a reason. I want you to read it. You need methods designed for insurance agents. All right. I've said this about 4 times. There's thousands and thousands of brilliant internet marketers out there that make millions a year selling stuff online, right? But the problem is, it's not our business. It's not insurance. It's not our industry. And I don't care if it's personal lines. I don't care if it's life insurance. I don't care if it's medical insurance. If you're selling supplemental benefits, it makes no difference. It's not our business. right? We're not selling sunglasses. So until you find methods that work for insurance agents, you're not going to have success just clicking and trying everything out under the sun, right? There's 100 new apps and 100 new software programs introduced to you on a monthly basis. There's never going to be a shortage of new things, right? I'm not saying don't try anything that comes out brand new if it fits, because that's how we learn. That's how we get better. That's how we evolve. But the methods, software, and programs you use need to be designed to help our industry. Does that make sense, guys? Cool. Now, I want to tell you a quick story. All right. So this is back when I started. Like I said, I almost had to close my doors because I was listening to corporate and experts. I was buying leads, telemarketing, hounding people. It was taking up way too much time and staff energy. Then when I started this digital agency, even though I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but I was figuring it out, I realized once I did this the right way, the prospects were then introduced to us in some form. Maybe we didn't talk to them yet, but maybe they knew us from our online presence, from some content I put out there, a video I put out there, a blog post, right? And mind you, I wasn't spending hours a day on this. I was just consistent. It was repeatable. They knew us, and I wasn't spending a ton of money on that, okay? Now you're in good position. When the prospect already knows you, whether you've talked to them or not, right? Even whether you're the one calling first, if they know who you are, even saw your name once, that positioning is completely flipped around. Because we were only talking to prospects that were willing and wanted to talk to us. Okay. And my staff, they were using their time on stuff that mattered instead of wasting time on those dead leads. You guys know what dead leads are, right? You know, when you have a list in front of you of 100 leads that you just paid for about $4 a pop, you might be lucky to get 10% to even like say yes to a quote. And then who knows what the close ratio is. And that helped my staff because they felt accomplished. Nothing is more draining and tiring to a staff member that's getting paid 10, 12, 13 bucks an hour than making 500 phone calls in a week and getting like 3 quotes. Yeah, I know you're disappointed, but guess what? They are too. They're disappointed because people take pride in their work. Regardless of what you might think, people take pride. But if you do this, it doesn't take long and the staff is wearing down, they're going to give up real quick. And that's when you come out of their office, right? You come out of your office and then your staff's in front of you. You see everybody clicking on their mouse because they're closing their Facebook out, right? You ever notice that? They weren't like that on day one. Something happened, and odds are it wasn't you. It wasn't you that did it. It was something wore them out. Okay? Do you agree with that, guys? That most of your staff takes pride in their work? I think so. I'd like to think so. But as a result of what we were doing, my entire office was much happier, less stressed, a lot more relaxed. You know, and of course I gave them my process. I gave them my plan. I gave them the scripts that was usable in any sales situation, just about. And on top of that, what they learned after, if you really make it easy for a few sales for your staff, here's a little secret. All right. I always tell agents, especially with a new staff that's in sales, give them a couple easy ones, right? Even if the person called you, I don't care if it was your Aunt Margaret, right? Your Aunt Margaret called for a quote. You quoted it and everything. You give it to that new salesperson and say, hey, can you close this? Right? And you're going to pay them commission. Now, they didn't do anything for it. I get that. But you're getting confidence in them. Once you get somebody's confidence going, guess what? They produce over and over and over again. And that's what these systems did when I started my digital marketing. All right. Just to give you some numbers, people like numbers, right? So I bought a really struggling agency. We went from about 25 sales a month with 4 sales producers to 54 sales a month with 2. No, I didn't fire 2 people. I repositioned them in spots in the agency because of how we had it organized. You know, then we were at 75, 80, eventually 100. All right. Which, let me tell you, I was in upstate New York, not a very popular area. Okay. And eventually, after, 30 to 60 days, we were number 1 in our market. Right. And one of the top, actually, we hit 1 in the territory, which, trust me, New York State, pretty big, a couple of times. But we were killing it. Okay. And it didn't take some huge, amazing marketing that I was paying for to do it. And we continued to grow month after month. But without these effective online processes, I would have still been wasting my time, my staff's time, and my money on dead work. Now, lastly, like I said, you don't need an email or prospect list in the thousands to make this work. Literally, as little as 100 contacts can get you rolling. This is a cool little photo. I'm going to leave this up here. I just like implementing this because this is so true for our industry. This is by Dan Kennedy, his No BS Guide to Direct Marketing. Here's holes in the bucket that digital marketing can actually help you with in a lot of ways. All right. Take a picture. I'm not going to leave this up long. Take a picture of this and just see where the holes in your agency are. I bet a lot of them come down to here. Right. The biggest few I see, post-purchase processes with new customers. Right. Follow up on leads, at least the correct follow up on leads. No rescue of lost customers. For some reason, we're so afraid to call our old terminated clients because we think we're going to get yelled at. But honestly, it's one of the highest close rates you can have. And online marketing and digital processes can help you do all these. Okay. So the first step in this last one with the contacts is you got to just hack your database. Every contact, customer, prospect's an opportunity, and it doesn't cost you anything. We're spending a ton of money on Sales Genie or lead sources to get new names when we're not even using the names we have. And then also a lot of your companies, whether independent or captive agent, a lot of your companies have really cool tools hidden in their systems where you can get contacts, which are prospects and current client info, most of which are free. So look into that. And then develop a flawless requote process that will blow others out of the water that you're already paying for, but you're doing it yourself, right? I'm not saying flawless requote process is picking up the phone 50 times a day. It's using the right digital platforms to do that. And then obviously, as you guys know, and what you want is it equals more time for you to do the important things. Now, I don't know what the important things are to you. But I'm sure you got something else. Some of you have other businesses that you want to start, right? Spend time with family, have a hobby that you're really into. I don't know what the important things are. You can only answer that. I don't know. Maybe you want to work 80 hours in the office because you love it. That's cool too. But maybe in those 80 hours, you do what you want to do instead of putting out fires and what's coming at you. Now, imagine how much money you can save and sell more policies if you cut out paid leads, right? Whatever your number was, my example is 2,500. Well, whatever your number was, imagine if you could cut out anything you're paying for SEO or website optimization or online advertisement, those paid ads, whether it's Facebook, whether you're paying someone to email market for you, a banner ad on a website, whatever. Imagine if you cut that out, whatever that expense is to you, write it down. Or what about these? If you have a telemarketer or a service, right? A warm transfer. What are you paying per month, right? You might say, well, I only pay my telemarketer $9 or $10 an hour and they only work part-time. Yeah, accumulate that over time. That's a lot of money, right? Or imagine if you could have less staff, but pay them fairly, right? And that's commission structures, which I talk about. A lot of you already know my theory on that. They shouldn't get paid unless you get paid, right? I'm not saying 100% commission, but there's ways to do it. And how many of you are still spending money, and I was, on aimless marketing? I'm talking yellow pages, other media, radio, TV. These were my numbers. I know yours may be higher. They may be lower. All right. But the point is there's significant savings if you can cut out the garbage. And it's just a matter of, providing a good digital marketing process in your agency, but not spending a ton of time to do it. Now, once you understand these and you create that digital agency, your life, your business, your office, your agency can change forever. And now the next part I told you I was going to get to. All right, so let's talk about this. There's a question I've been asked well over 1,000 times, and I bet you are asking yourself this question right now. And after I put this question out there, I want you to say yes if you've been thinking this, right? Because it's kind of a common sense question. Joe, if you're doing so well, why just sell your office? All right. I want to speak to that because that's the number one question I get asked over and over again. All right. So as opposed to going to the chat bar and going over and here's why. For those of you, all right, in type of 1, if you are a captive or exclusive agent, that means you're not independent. Type of 1, so if you're with an Allstate, a Farmers, a State Farm, Nationwide, Liberty, what have you. Type of 1 if you're an exclusive or captive agent. All right. So a bunch of you, right? So you'll relate to this. I was an Allstate agent. Love Allstate. I owe Allstate everything I know. Okay. Love the company. I really do. Most companies are good. But here's the reality. Allstate saw what I was doing. They loved it. And they said, Joe, hey, I got a couple agents that if you don't mind, you could explain this to. I'm like, yeah, I have no issue ever sharing secrets. I have no problem with that. Right. So I did. Now, as I'm talking through with these agents, communicating after a month or two back and forth, helping them out, guess what they started saying? Joe, this is really cool. If you keep helping me, I'll pay you a little bit. You know, who's going to turn down extra revenue? So I did. And I said, sure. Well, as you guys might know, because of your contracts, your U4s, right, that you have to sign, Allstate very politely came to me and said, listen, we appreciate what you're doing. We really do. We love it. But you have two options. You can keep your agency and stop coaching and making money off of it, or you can keep coaching and training and sell your agency. You know, so when that first hit me, I was like, wow, I got a big decision to make, right? But then I started doing pros and cons. And this is just me personally. I know not everybody feels this way. And I'm not trying to be corny, because trust me, I'm an egotistical person. All of us have egos of some sort, and I'm not afraid to admit that. All right. But when I train and coach somebody, and there's a few people on here I've told this story to. Terry, I think I have told it to you before. Like, I love helping people. If an agent comes to me and says, Joe, I tried your process and it resulted in X. I got this many more leads. I sold this many more policies. Guess what, guys? That feeds my ego. And internally, I love it. All right. The other thing I looked at was, hey, I bought this struggling agency years ago. You know, I paid a good chunk of money for it, but in retrospective, it wasn't a ton. What happened is after a few years of doing this, I grew it enough to where now I could sell it for about 3 to 4 times what I paid. So now I was looking at this and saying, well, I could sell my agency, do what I am loving doing, and make a profit. For me, it was an easy decision. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I wanted to get that out of the way because that's the number one question I always get asked, right? Because that's the BS meter goes off. All right, he's telling me he did well, right? He's telling me all this stuff worked for him. He got a lot of business from it. Okay, BS alarm. Why don't you still have your agency? There's the answer. So I hope that answered it for you. All right. In fact, a few people I'm looking through my messages now. They asked me the question earlier, right? So there's the answer to it. Okay. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, after today, you can take what I've shown you and go ahead and start using this stuff. You're all smart enough, more than capable of doing it. You're, like I said, you had to pass licensing tests. You had to get appointed. You wouldn't be in your position you are right now if you weren't smart enough to do it. All right. But the problem I ran into, trust me, I did it, was creating this automated type agency took a lot of months and a lot of money. And I did spend over 50 grand in training alone when I owned my agency on these processes. And a lot of it was just trial and error, which was costly and frustrating. And that's just the reality of it. You know, now in this time together, I know we went through a lot, and I don't want to spend 3 hours on a webinar. I know you guys are busy. So half the problem is I go and I just kind of talk really, really fast, right? But I hope in this time together that you've learned something new today. Now, whether that was something I told you or something when you wrote down your numbers, you had a new way of thinking about it. All right. So I hope you learned something today. The reality is we can't cover everything in a short span. All right. Probably even a few hour webinar, we're not going to be able to cover it all. But there is something that will give you all that you need to know. All right. And so what we're doing is making sure old habits that they die hard. What do I mean by that? What I mean by old habits die hard is we spend time training, education, webinars, all this stuff, right? And we get excited about it, right? We take notes. We get super stoked. Okay. Is that still a word, stoked? I don't know. So we get excited about it. We're ready to implement, ready to do things. Yay. And then after all the notes, we look at it, we go to bed that night, wake up the next morning, and guess what? The fire hits us again. And we don't do it. Right? And that's the last thing I ever want to have happen. Training is awesome. Okay. But if you don't implement any of it, nothing's going to happen. And that's a habit we need to break. And that's a habit I've helped agents break for years. but there's a formula to it. It's not just me saying it to you. There's a formula of what I do, So what I'm doing today, and this is the first time ever, is the Digital Agency Masterclass 3.0 full membership. It's a 4-week live session training. All right. But what the heck are we going to do for 4 weeks? Remember I said we couldn't get it all done in an hour or 3 hours? That's because, it takes some time, but trust me, once it's together, it's an automated, repeated digital marketing process that goes on, month after month. All right, so let's check out what we're going to be doing on this first ever 3.0 live session. All right, so during the 4-week live training, we are going to set up your agency's organic social selling system. Remember I was saying organic, right? Non-paid, right? It's going to save you a ton of money because you're going to do it over and over. We're not talking about we're just going to do this for 1 month. We're going to do it over and over. We're also going to set up your agency's self-generated email marketing campaigns. All right. We're going to give you the templates. All you got to do is put your name on it. We're going to give those to you. All right. And when we do that, we're going to set up a campaign that you're going to do over and over again. I'm going to give you and set up your agency's 2-step lead funnel, right? Remember I said sales funnels that can make people buy sunglasses, right? No, these are funnels intended for insurance agents, right? And on top of that, we're also going to set up and create marketing content that can produce on multiple platforms. No more hard selling. There's going to be content out there, right? That builds a community, builds your reach. And you're not going to pay to put it out there. You're just going to put it out there. And I'm going to give you everything, every step of the way to do that. And then one of the biggest things, has to be integrating your digital marketing with your agency's, what I have 60-day online marketing calendar. We create that for you. You don't have to create that. We create it. All right. And what that does is it shows you the methodology and the direction, right? We take that overcomplication out of it. Here's what you're doing day 1, day 3, day 7, the 15th of the month. Okay. Now I've done this one-on-one before. That's where these prices are coming from. All right. So if we did that all separate, total value about $6,991 off of real numbers of what I've done work-wise in the past for agents. Let's go back to our survey results, right? You guys trust technology. You know it's important. You've tried it. So knowledge and overcomplication is the issue. Now look at this. A lot of these should look familiar. Some might not, right? These are just the most popular of the thousands of apps, software platforms, services, marketing plans that are out there for you, right? What the heck do you use? This is the overcomplication portion. This is what we want to eliminate. Like for instance, there's a few on the bottom there. Hearsay Social, Hootsuite, Clixo, right? Great services, great platforms. But did you know using those kills your social media presence? There's reasons why we don't have time to go into it now. But for example, it takes you from a 20 to 30% reach to about a 4, okay, using that material. And we go through all that, obviously. But we need to sift through, and you need someone to sift through it for you. Let's be honest, right? Now, the clients I work with mainly are your captive and independent agency owners, right? For the most part. And then my second is probably life and financial specialists. And then I have a good group of, selling supplement, health, and medical insurance. Think about what it would be worth, right? If we could implement this in your agency. What would it be worth if you could do this just for 3 months, right? Just 3 months of these automated processes. What if you could keep it going for a year, right? What about 10 years? Maybe you're out of the business, but you can now have the retirement life you wanted. You're not really struggling anymore. Get your head above water. All right. And then finally, just, whether it's your family, your friends, your own life, that you deserve. I mean, why did you decide to be an agency owner in the first place? I don't need you to type anything, but what I want you to think in your head is, am I running my agency the way I imagined it before I started? And we talked, what are your other investments doing, right? I'm just throwing numbers out. I don't know what you're paying, but think about it. You have your own marketing investments. You're going on a monthly or yearly basis. But can you tell me what the return is for each? A lot of these you have no idea, right? And it's not your fault, but that's the way the marketing is set up, right? If you have a TV ad or a radio ad, or you pay for Yellow Pages, you're not going to get a report from them. saying this is how many sales you got. Yeah, if you're Yellow Pages, here's how many people dialed your number. But there's a lot of backtracking and it's a lot of expense for not a lot of return. So like I said, during the 4 weeks, we're going to set up your organic social selling system in your agency, set up your agency's email marketing and lead generation campaigns. Going to give you and set up your agency's 2-step lead funnel, give you marketing content that produces on multiple platforms, and obviously integrate your digital marketing system with the 60-day online marketing calendar that we give you. All right. And now I say 60 days because it's recyclable. So we do 60 days, then boom, you do the same thing the next 60 days over and over again. At total value, if I did it separately, which I've done in the past, $6,991. But for today, anybody that signs up for these live sessions, the first 20 agents, mind you, we're going to get 30 people signed up today. The first 20, I'm actually going to also, on top of all this, I'm going to give you our daily process and HR department in a box, right? And that's commission plans, hiring, staff motivation. It's going to be all this stuff, right? You're going to get this as a bonus. This is going to be stuff that's going to help you run your agency. Remember, I talked about commission plans, paying them fairly, different scripts, retention guides, right? The first 20 people that sign up today are going to get this at no cost. Normally, we sell it for $397. All right. So we're going to get the organic selling system. We're going to do the email marketing lead generation campaign. We're going to set up the 2-step lead funnel, give you that bonus. All right. And then I want to introduce Marie. All right. I don't know if Marie's on today. I don't know. Anyway, Marie, we've been working with Marie for years. And she was really loving the fact when we talked about the contacts, right? She was an Allstate agent, so I helped her one-on-one. How many leads and contacts she had in her system without ever having to pay for them, right? Remember hacking your database? Okay, that was her number one thing she took out from all of the stuff we do, right? Also today, what I want to give you for the first 15 people that sign up is our Life and Financial Sales Accelerator. Now, you can go out online to my store and you'll see this is $997, right? Right here, there's the sales page for it. First 15 people that sign up for this 4-session course is going to get this 100% free. First 15 people. All right. That's our second for the first 15. So if you're one of the first 20 or 15 to sign up today, you're going to get the organic reach social selling system. We're going to set up your email marketing campaign for lead generation. We're going to set up your agency's 2-step lead funnel campaign and give you that marketing content that produces. Integrate all your digital marketing system with your agency's 60-day online marketing calendar we create for you. First 20 get the first bonus. First 15 get bonuses 1 and 2. So if selling it separate, total value be $8,385. Right now, what if all this did was give you that kick in the butt you need to run your agency like you've always imagined? Remember, I asked you to think, are you running your agency how you've wanted to? And what if it all just gave you and your staff accountability on a daily basis? Or maybe all it did, the only thing it did was cut out those expenses we talked about, the aimless marketing. Did nothing else for you but cut that out. What's that worth to you? Make it so you wouldn't have to worry about your staff and your marketing on a daily basis and free up your time, right? As a business owner, but yet the agency was still writing policies. How much is that worth? Any one of these things, how much is that worth? Now, you can see after the value, if I put it all together, right, it would still be a deal at $5,000. And that would even be like a 49% discount off of everything I just listed, right? So when we produce this to the general public, it's going to be $1997. However, on today's webinar only, because it's the first time we're running it, all right, for the live sessions, we're going to be running it a one-time cost of $397. One time. That way you get lifetime access to the membership site. And then after the live class is done, we are then going to be reselling it for that $1997. Okay. So in just a second, you're going to see an offer button pop up to your right. So we got 30 spots available, right? 30 spots available. Now to sweeten the pot a little bit, because I like fast action takers. Because if you act quick, that means you're ready. You're ready to implement. That's why I got the bonuses numbered out. First 15, first 20. If you're in the first 10 right now, On top of everything I just talked about, I will be giving you 6 60-minute coaching sessions one-on-one with me. Now, they're good for up to 12 months, right? I would recommend using a few during the course so we can get rolling, but they're good for 12 months. That's only for the first 10 that sign up right now. Now, to give you perspective, for somebody to have 6 60-minute coaching sessions with me, they would need to be a platinum member, which we charge $1,500 a month for. All right. But you're going to get, if you're one of the first 10 fast action takers right now, you are going to get that for free. Only the first 10. Because like I said, if you're taking action and you're the first 20 to get those bonuses, I know you're ready to work. All right. Because a few weeks of work is going to pay off huge. Okay. So for the first 10, I'm going to do the 6 60-minute coaching sessions. And like I said, one-time cost. That's it. It's not monthly. You don't pay again. You get lifetime access to the membership site, all the trainings, lifetime access to the bonuses, right? And our sessions start next week, April 11th. Now you have 2 choices, okay? Do nothing. Don't take a tiny leap of faith, right? But you're going to wake up tomorrow in the same spot you are today. And think about why you're here. Why are you listening to this right now? Why are you on this webinar? Obviously, you're one of the ones, like I explained at the beginning, that's willing to change. So are you going to make that change, right? So your first option, don't do anything, right? Unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong, probably going to be in the same spot tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. The second option is spend this small investment. I mean, really, I know at first we think $397, oh, but in reality, look at your other expenses, right? That's probably half of your lease. Okay. Or 20 internet leads, 20 paid leads. Think about that for a second. How much business can 20 paid leads get you? Right? It's the same cost. All I'm saying is instead of buying 20 leads in the next month, give this a shot. Right? And think about that. So click the offer button to your right and roll in the spots now. Okay. Now I got to try to keep up with the bonuses here. I think we got a few left on the first 10 spots. So you guys will get the coaching calls. Honestly, what's going to happen is I'll see from my analytics who signed up before, and then you'll get emailed with what bonuses you qualified for. All right. Now I'm going to also throw this in. This is my insane 12-month guarantee. There's 3 parts to it. Okay. First, compelling marketing. So if for some reason we go through this 4-week live session and you can't, for whatever reason, create the right content to get your prospects' attention, I'm going to keep working with you to make sure we get the right message to market match. Okay. Also, the other part, if your agency is not closing at higher rates, or for some reason you, your staff, whoever is just not getting it, right? It's not their fault. There's just something that's missing. I will work with you, with them, one-on-one, no charge, right? If you sign up for this program today. Okay, I'm only offering this on the webinar today. Like I said, after the live session, we're going to close registration today. After the live session, we're going to package it up. We're going to get the recordings and we're going to sell it for $2,000. Okay. Also, the last part, if you're not able to show any improvement in your digital marketing, I'm going to give you continuous one-on-one coaching and creation hours. So me working on your behalf every step of the way. So if that's templates, writing out marketing for you, right? For 12 months, I'm going to help you out, and I'm not going to charge you per month for it. I want this to work, right? So click the button to your right to get started. And I think we got two or three spots left for the bonus number 3 with the coaching calls. Now, here's the other thing I'm going to do. And a lot of you know I don't do this hardly at all, right? If you sign up today on this webinar and you attend all 4 sessions, implement the strategies, and you still don't like it, let me know. I'll give you your money back, right? Not much in our business does that for you. Sure, internet lead provider will say, if it's a bad lead, you got to send about 18 levels of proof that it's bad and we'll replace it. But getting your money back, could you imagine that a lead company gives you 20 leads in a month, you pay them $500 and you say, you know what, I didn't sell anything. These weren't any good. How many of them are giving you your money back? Think about that for a second. Okay. Oh, Terry, thank you. All right, I got some questions. Before we do this, let's see. Okay, So I got a few things. Excuse me. All right. So yes, I will email you with your exact, because with the numbers left, I have to manually do that and things kind of freeze up. So I've closed out. I don't know how many are signed up. What's going to end up happening? I will email you and let you know what spot you signed up in, Kelly. All right. So you will know. And I'm going to do that. Give me I got to get it all done. Give me 30 minutes. Okay. Oh, Terry, that's so nice. Okay. So Terry, I got to tell you guys this. Here's an incentive, right? Let's say we've already passed 20. Terry, who's been a client of mine for a long time, said that he already has gotten some of my bonuses or bought the other courses. So Terry has signed up, I'm assuming. Yep. And he is going to give his bonuses to number 21. All right. Applaud for Terry. How awesome is that? Cool. All right. Let's see. Other questions. Financial advisors. Great question. So when we go through this, Chris, we are going through principles of everything. So, it's not necessarily just for auto insurance, just for life insurance, right? Now, the only thing, if all you're doing is financial advising, the one thing, it's not going to make it more difficult, just extra wording. All the disclaimers you got to put in certain places. You just have to add that, right? But like you just said, the compliance requirements, it's not going to be an issue. It's just going to be an extra step. Okay. Brian, no, that is something different. Yep. I've heard of them. I don't really know much about them. I know they've been around for about a year. Yep. Right. So Melissa, what ends up happening is pretty much what happens is you get the templates, right? And so you might have the template done or the funnel. The funnel's done. Okay. And we just pop your info in. Yep. Now, obviously, if you are one of the first 10 to sign up, we're going to go ahead and do the coaching calls so we can really hammer it down too. But yeah, you don't have to spin your wheels or hours thinking of marketing content, right? I'm not going to have you be an advertising writer right now. That's not your job. That's my job. Okay. Good question though. All right. And like I said, I have not updated. I don't know how many are signed up right now. I'm having to click this manual thing. I'm sure we got more than 10 already sold, but I'm not sure. All right. So click the offer button to your right. We only got 30 altogether, right? After this, it's done. I mean, the real question is, guys, is it worth a few minutes of your time and a few bucks just to check it out? I mean, imagine if it only gives you half the results of what I've told you so far. It's paid for itself in a couple of weeks, and you're going to know that, right? So number one, the second you sign up, you're going to get an email within 24 hours. And obviously the live trainings aren't done yet. We don't start those till next week, but you're going to already right away immediately get access to bonuses and training stuff. So you're going to start rolling and it's going to click really early. Probably even if you go through that stuff before week one, it's going to click and say, wow, I can do this. I can make this possible in my agency, right? So imagine it only gives you half of what I've told you and sold to you today, right? It's paid for itself, right? Awesome quote. I always quote this. Robert Kiyosaki, anybody that's ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, reality is he says poor people spend money on liabilities, right? The lotto, toys, materialistic things. How many of you are wearing a real expensive watch? I'm not wearing an expensive watch. I'm wearing, honestly, my wrist right now has a WWJD bracelet and that's it. But that's unfortunately what people spend their money on. Wealthy people spend money on assets, not liabilities. That's business investments, systems, processes, things they know work. Right? And really, the tale of two agents, okay? So you got two agents here. Now, I have been both in my career, and I've worked with both in my career. Unfortunately, you got somebody who will sit on a training, waste their own time. You're not wasting my time, you're wasting your own time. Take some notes and not do anything, not implement. So they're going to wake up tomorrow, right? They're going to go through, put those fires out, and when it comes time to finally say, all right, I got to write some business, they put their head in their hands and figure out what the heck they're going to do. Right. And I know these are corny pictures, but it gets the point across. Or there's the agent on the right that figures out, hey, I can do this. I did it. It works. This can work for me. A lot of people are making money with digital marketing. The problem is insurance agents haven't seen it, right? Because they don't have someone that's done it for them with their industry. Once again, I know it's about the 10th time and I apologize. We're not selling sunglasses and books, right? We're selling insurance. That's why the digital marketing processes have to be tailor-made for it. So what you're going to do next is click the offer button to your right. And like I said, the bonuses, bonus 1 is for the first, up to 20, bonus 2 and 1 for the first 15. And if you're in that first 10, you get all 3 bonuses. All right. And like I said, what happens is I see what order all the orders came in, and then you'll get emailed, give me about half hour, and I'll let you know where you're at. Okay. So real quick, what you're going to get is we're going to set up your agency's organic reach social selling system. We're going to set up your email marketing lead generation campaigns. You're going to get set up and given to you the 2-step lead funnel that I used in my agency, I use for agents today, and give you marketing content that produces on multiple platforms, right? And real quick, like an example, let me give you an example of that marketing content. Terry, we talked, right? And now, by the way, Terry is an awesome agent. He's the one, if you missed it, gave his bonuses. He signed up, he gave his bonuses to somebody else, right? So he's saying whoever spot 21 that missed out on the bonuses, they get mine. So amen for Terry, right? So Terry's one. First of all, Terry's a brilliant dude, okay? All right, but Terry simply, I don't mean to make this sound bad, Terry, but if I tell you to do something, you do it and it works. Like Terry put out a video. We did a referral campaign for him, right? So he put out this video on this referral campaign about a drawing. And the amount of leads he was throwing up in the air when he was shaking up the raffle was amazing, right? And that was the first time we ran it. Okay, good question. If you did sign up, nope, you don't need to stay on. Unless you like the sound of my voice. Obviously, I do. All right. Yeah. So, yes, you don't need to stay on. I mean, we are going to go through a couple other things. Maybe not a bad idea, right? Yes, you can go back to work if you absolutely need to. I appreciate your time. If you signed up, we'll be talking. You'll get an email from me. All right. Next, we're going to integrate your digital marketing system with the 60-day online marketing calendar. First 20 agents are going to get bonus number 1. First 15 get 1 and 2. First 10, we'll get all 3, but most importantly, the 6 60-minute coaching sessions one-on-one with me. Total value, $9,885 if we did this separately, $397 today. Now, if you didn't sign up immediately, well, first of all, it sounds like from all these comments, you probably missed out on the first bonus, I'll be honest. But if you didn't sign up immediately, one, you've been jaded by insurance tricks in the past. I get it. I have too. Here's the reality. I wouldn't still be in business, still be doing this and coach over 1,200 agents if I tricked people and didn't deliver. That's just the reality of it. All right. I'm not a fly-by-night person. Been doing this a long time. Okay. Number 2, you didn't sign up. You think it's too much to do and don't think your agency can handle it. That's why we do it with you and for you. We give you the templates. I'm not asking you to create a funnel. I'm giving you the funnel, right? I did the work and I'm going to do the work. All right. That's why I walk you through the implementation and the customization to get it all started immediately. You're going to see results immediately. All right. You're going to see even more. I know this is going to sound nuts, but even more important than results, what you're going to see that's going to make more of a difference is the shift in your mindset, right? Tell me, what's benefited you more in life? Learning a core principle that's really smart or having somebody shift the way you think positively? What's more beneficial? Now, you're going to get both, right? I'm not trying to oversell it, but I'm just saying you're going to get both. But what you're going to see quicker is the shift in mentality. 3, you think it's too expensive. Listen, hey, I get it. Money's tight. I do. Absolutely. Think about what you pay a month on junk. $397, right? Think about how much you spent in 2017 on wasted marketing that gave you no results. How much was that? Probably a little more than $397, right? So click the offer button to your right. You'll see that I have on here, it has 15 spots left. Guys, I really don't know. I need to, it kind of froze. My other part of my system froze up. And that happens with webinars. So here's the reality. If we hit our 30 max threshold, all right, I'm sorry, but if you're 31 or 32, we're going to have to see. I might have to refund the money if you're past the 30. I'm assuming we still got spots left because usually I'd get notified. All right, let's talk about time versus money. Our business is unique. We have what's called residual income, right? So every month, we all get paid monthly. Every month, our money replenishes, right? But that 70, 80 hours, trust me, I've been there. I've spent it. where I've missed my son's soccer games, my son's t-ball games. That time I've wasted, I don't get that back every month. I get the money back. Guess what? The $397 you pay for this right now, all right, first of all, it's going to save you because when we produce it all and resell, it's going to be $2,000. But second of all, that $397 is going to come back to you next month, right? And the time it's going to save you that you'd otherwise be wasting without really implementing and doing this stuff, that time's not coming back. So click the offer button to your right. If you have not enrolled already, we got the first 30 spots. All right, Chris is one of my favorites. He's an agent in the state of Washington. Now, I'm not taking credit for Chris, right? Chris was a hard worker. He has a sharp mind, okay? But a lot of the stuff, especially with this digital marketing, we did. He obviously, as I've preached over and over, the low-cost way we're getting leads. Chris was actually, and I was only part of his success. Trust me, Chris did 90% of the work. He just took a few of my ideas and ran with it. He was the #1 for Allstate Insurance, the #1 scratch agent starting from zero in the entire state. Think about that. Washington is a pretty big state, right? Any states, that's impressive. Okay. Chris did most of the work, but he took the few ideas and he ran with it. Guys, I do want to thank you for attending. I wish I could lie to you and tell you I knew how many spots were left. I really don't. But what I am going to do is you'll hear my mic muted right now, okay? But I'm going to leave this up there. I am going to check after I mute my mic how many spots we got left. I'm going to update the available units, all right? But just remember, we're going to be giving you and set up your agency's organic reach social selling system. We're going to set up your agency's email marketing lead generation campaigns. We're going to set up and give you the 2-step lead funnel, all right, that I'm creating, and give you marketing content that produces on multiple platforms. Integrate your digital marketing with your 60-day online calendar that you're going to use over and over. And there's the bonuses. I don't need to repeat which place, but if you're the first, really 15 to 20, the last 15 to 20, you only get bonus 1. If you're the first 15, you get bonuses 1 and 2. If you're the first 10, which I'm assuming are gone at this point, you'll get the 6 60-minute coaching sessions. Total value, $9,855. Today, this webinar only, $397. All right. Now, here's the reality. I didn't realize how many people we were going to have on today. They were supposed to get a replay. Everybody, because obviously not everybody shows up, right? So a lot of people registered. Not everybody showed. A replay was supposed to go out, but I have a feeling we're going to sell out. So I'm probably going to stop the replay. So the reality is, this is it. This is your last opportunity. The next time you're going to see the Digital Agency Masterclass set up for you and sent out that you can purchase is going to be when the live sessions are done. All right. So you're talking, first of all, you're going to have to wait about 6 to 8 weeks. And instead of $397, it's getting sold at $1997. That simple, guys. We are starting live sessions next week. Now, the email you'll get an email for registering for the live session. If you signed up within 24 hours, you're going to get the email for the live sessions. And also, you'll get an email from me today, and I will email you personally. Number one, it's good because you'll have my email. When you're in a training with me, that's great to have. Number two, I'm going to tell you what spot you signed up in and what bonuses you got. All right. So I'm going to leave this up here. Let me mute my mic. Now, if you need to chat with me, I'll be still monitoring. Okay. But I will try to update that. Where it says how many are left. I'm going to try to update that right now. All right. So guys, thank you so much for attending. Thank you for taking the time with me today. I'm going to update how many we have left. I'm going to go look real quick right now. And obviously, if you have questions, email me. My email for you guys, if you don't know it. Hold on. If you need, honestly, if you signed up today, I can't wait. You're going to be talking to me a lot. If you didn't, all right, or, you're still kicking the tire, whatever, that's fine. Here's my email. Email me, guys. I'm a pretty open person. You can ask people. A lot of people on here have worked with me before, right? Trust me. I'm always willing to help. Always. All right. So email me if you have questions. I'll be hanging out, checking out the chat. So if you got a few other questions, let me know. I'm going to go right now, see how many spots are left, and I'm going to update it. All right, guys. If I don't talk to you until next week, make it a great rest of your week. It's hump day. It's almost done, right? So make it awesome. I'm so stoked, so excited to work with you guys, especially those first 10. Right? That got those quick action takers. I'm ready. We're ready to roll. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, so you know what? I'll make it a deal, and I don't know how many are left. If I'll do that to the first 12 that signed up. How about that? You guys were so awesome on the webinar. I didn't, this is the first webinar I've had in a long time where I didn't have any of the obnoxious comments on the right-hand side. That was cool, right? So you guys were an awesome audience. So you know what? The first 12 that signed up, I'm going to go ahead and give you the 6 sessions. Okay? All right, guys. For those that signed up, we're going to hit the ground running. You're going to start getting some emails. Don't ignore them. If you have questions or if you don't get an email me. Write that address down. Copy and paste it somewhere. joe@imwithdavis.com. If you don't get the email, let me know. All right? Can't wait to work with you. Make it a great rest of your day. Talk to you later. All right, I just checked. That number is accurate. So we have one spot left for the bonus. One spot left for the bonus. All right. Now, what happens too is some people are on delay for some reason. Their servers happen. So we're going to sell out. I might still send the replay out. If I don't quite hit the 30, maybe, But awesome. Cool. That's all. I just want to update you. There's one spot left for the bonus, guys. All right, we sold out technically of all the bonuses. However, what I'll do is I will extend the first bonus. Okay, if you're still on the line, you're listening. Here's what I'm going to do. The bonus one, where you get the daily process and HR department in the box, the extra $397 value, I'm going to give that to everybody that signs up in that first 30. I'm going to bump that to 30. The rest are the same, but I'm going to bump that to the first 30. All right, and we are going to close this page down in 90 seconds. All right, so I will talk to all of you that signed up next week, and can't wait to work with you. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.